Right, hello. I'm somewhat a little more composed than I was about an hour ago. Maybe even more than an hour ago. Now looking at the time, it's 12:20. So let me explain to you what's happened. Yesterday I was off my work but was feeling really squeamish. Like, I couldn't put my finger on what it was, but the last 48 hours I have felt really tired. Like, incredibly so that it makes no sense, but incredibly tired. Like, I can't even describe to you. I actually said to Alan, today's Friday, and I said to Alan on the Wednesday, like, cannot be bothered with the gym tonight, really don't feel well. And then yesterday said to him, oh, I'm really like not looking forward to the gym, and he's like, you'll feel better for going. And I just thought it was my mood. I thought it was my brain making me feel like, oh, just that kind of lethargic and a bit sorry for myself way. And I thought, no, do you know what, I am going to go to the gym. So I went last night, and normally I would run about 2k on the treadmill within about kind of 13 minutes. That's not bad for me. And I managed to do 1k, and it took me ages, and I was just absolutely knackered. Like, it was as if my legs wouldn't take me any further, and I thought there's something not right. I was a little bit paranoid about it. I'm checking my blood sugars regularly anyway, because I would do that, but they were fine. And I also noticed, like, I was peeing loads, which was the other reason why I was checking my blood sugars so frequently, because high blood sugar usually you urinate more. And I thought, oh, is my blood sugar high because I'm peeing a lot? I feel the need to constantly pee. So got up for my work this morning, went to work, and I said as soon as I got into work, I felt that horrible feeling like as if you've not ate your breakfast yet and you've got an empty stomach, and you just feel like you feel a bit sicky, but you can't put your finger on it. And that's what was wrong with me. I stopped at Starbucks to get a coffee. I got a oat milk latte till I, it was a coconut latte, because they didn't have any oat milk left. And the moment it hit my mouth, I was like, whoa, that's making me feel really sick. And I thought it's probably because it's coconut, and I don't really ever have coconut milk and things. And I thought, I'll not do that again. And then I got like a kind of migraine aura. Now, sometimes when I get a migraine, it's usually because I've got low blood sugar. That's a symptom I get. And I thought, clearly I need my breakfast. So I said to the girls I was on with and my boss, do you mind if I just go for breakfast just now? My eyes went all fuzzy. I'm going to go and check my blood sugar. And of course they were like, yeah, of course, no problem. And I went away and I checked my blood sugar, and it was like 6.8. It was fine. And I thought, what is wrong with me? So I messaged Alan, and then I phoned him, and I was like, look, you're gonna have to come and get me from work, because I don't think I could drive home, because my eyes were all like, it's weird. If you've ever had a migraine, then you may know what I mean, but you get like this like ocular, like I can't see properly, especially at this side of my eye, and then the migraine went over to this side. Subsequently, I took paracetamol at that point as well, because I thought I just want to nip this in the bud and get on with my day. But then I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to stay here. So my boss was like, look, phone your other half and get him to come and get you, because I don't want you driving yourself home, because you really don't look very well. So that was fine. Alan came and got me. I done a COVID test as soon as I got in, because I thought, just in case, you never know. I done a lateral flow test. They obviously take 30 minutes. So once I'd done that, I thought, I wonder, I've got an old pregnancy test set kicking about somewhere. This feeling is just weird. Right, so I don't even know where to start, because this just happened, and this is like real life shit, I suppose. I was sent home from work because I'm feeling like shit, like I've got a migraine, that like I feel sick. I done a COVID test because I thought, oh, it could be that. And then I just thought in the back of my mind, maybe. And I've got two that say I'm positive. And I don't, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't even know. I've phoned Alan, I've said to him, please go and come out. Oh, I feel so overwhelmed. I don't even know what to do. I don't know. I'm happy, I am happy. I just wasn't expecting. I really wasn't expecting. Oh. So I need to compose myself now, because Alan will be home any minute. And then I'm going to deal with what I've got to deal with because I don't know. Oh. Oh. Right, I'll be back. Blew my fucking mind and started to become a raving lunatic. Phoned Alan straight away and then done that little tiny bit of footage that you just seen because I genuinely was like, this can't, this literally can't be real. Like, it can't be real because I've had a period. Like, this makes no sense. I then thought, these are so old. Well, they weren't out of date. They're not out of date till 2022, but I bought them so long ago, I thought, I'm not sure they're going to be any good. So Alan was like, look, you know, we're going to need to sort this out. So we went and bought 2 other kinds of pregnancy tests because we were paranoid. And this one says pregnant and this one is pregnant too. So it would appear, as it stands at the moment, that I am pregnant. And I am so happy. But I'm also absolutely fucking terrified. I just didn't expect it to be this quick. I don't know what I expected. Does that sound really stupid? Like, we've been trying for a wee while, but I think just because it wasn't in the dates, I wasn't ovulating, it wasn't anything, it just doesn't seem right at the moment that this is real. It doesn't feel real. Alan was like, well, you need to phone the GP. I was like, do I not get a blood test? Does somebody not need to check this? Like, hello? Like, what happens now? So I phoned the GP and they were like, no, you have to phone the midwife. And I was like, kind of, even that made me feel a bit like, already? Like, a midwife, like, really? Are you sure? Because what if tomorrow I have a period? Alan's like, you're not going to have a period. You're pregnant. And I'm like, but... yeah, but that, you know, what if tomorrow my period just comes on? I'm only 3 days late. Today's the 3rd day, so 2 days late, and today, if I came on, it would have been just 2 days late. I cannot get my fucking head around it. And I genuinely don't really know how I feel. So anyway, phoned the midwife, sorry. And they were like, yeah, no problem, we'll get you in for your first appointment, which is in September. And then my first scan is going to be in October. And I was like, right, okay. Like, I'm aware this is going to be coming across totally bambly and a bit odd, but also a bit like, it wasn't what I was expecting to happen. And Alan said to me, well, why did you take the test then? Like, what made you think? And I was like, I do not know. There was just something in me that thought this lethargy, I'm peeing. I didn't actually think I was pregnant. I just wanted to rule it out as a cause for feeling so sick and so tired. I just wanted to rule it out. And then when it came up that it was positive, I was like, shit. Like, how can this actually be happening? Anyway, so I have 2 appointments. I've also left a message with my diabetes specialist team because I think I've already mentioned this in probably other vlogs, but I obviously are under close scrutiny and supervision of certain teams, my cardiology team and my diabetes team, and they've been waiting for this to happen. I've been on the pre-pregnancy list. Now I will probably go into the pregnancy list. So I phoned and left a message with them as well, because as it stands at the moment, I don't actually know what I'm supposed to do. Just daft stuff, like, because I had a period last month, post having sex, I've drank, I've had pints, I've had like the odd night out and stuff, so I'm very like, what the fuck, like, how, I just didn't know. But also I am now absolutely terrified because I know that I've been out and had a drink and stuff, and I know that this happens to lots of women. I'll not be the first person to do it, but I am now terrified because I'm like, what if I've done that? What if I've done something that I shouldn't have been doing? I was eating like blue cheese, I've been eating soft cheese, all these things that maybe I shouldn't be doing, and equally I don't know if I shouldn't be doing any of them. and now I don't know what to do, and nobody's got back to me yet. It's a Friday. I'll need to phone my work and tell them, well, not need to tell them that I'm pregnant, I'm not going to tell anybody yet, but I'll need to let them know like how I am, because I had to go home from work today, and I just genuinely am like, I don't know what to do with myself. I was just so prepared for this to be going on another year or so, you know, just waiting to see if it was going to happen. And now, oh, I'll get all emotional again. Now maybe May next year, there'll be a little person, maybe. But I'm not going to tell anybody yet. It's just me and Alan that know. I'm not going to tell anybody yet. I'm going to keep it as private as long as possible. But I'm very aware I don't want to jinx anything either, and I just want everything to be safe and smooth, and for me and them to be healthy. Them, even saying that is so strange. So strange. I honestly can't believe this. It doesn't feel real. It just doesn't feel real yet. I think once I actually see somebody, they take my blood, they tell me, yeah, these are right, then I'll feel a bit different. But at the moment, I just can't get my head around it. So, yeah, anyway, I've rambled on now for 12 minutes and I don't have anything else to add because I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Jesus fuck. Hello, today is Monday must be the 23rd. Because Friday was the 20th and that's when I found out I was pregnant. So this is the first kind of installment. Like over the weekend basically, now that I know why I'm feeling this way, that kind of helps, but I am not kidding. This is no joke. This is tough work and I'm not even doing anything. And it's the strangest feeling because normally I'm not someone who doesn't feel sick very often. I'm not someone who's like, oh, I have a fear of being sick, I don't like it. I am sick, like I've been sick before, physically vomiting. I mean, sorry, this is TMI for anybody. Throughout my life, vomiting has been something that has happened quite frequently with me, partly to do with my diabetes, partly because of being in hospital and operations and stuff like that. So vomiting isn't something that purely makes me worry. The worst bit is the nausea. That is the worst bit, because normally if I'm feeling nauseous, once I'm sick, you feel a little better, don't you? But also what comes with that for me, if I'm sick, oh Molly, hello, Molly's coming up to join me. You coming up? Coming up? She doesn't like walking on unstable ground. I know, she's a bit strange. You saying hello? I'm still in my bed as well. But yeah, basically I don't like, if I'm sick with my diabetes, the problem with that is I don't keep food down. And most people will think, oh, that means you're going to have low blood sugar. Yes, initially. But if you don't eat enough, if you don't take any food in, your body starts to create ketones. It happens to athletes and stuff like that sometimes as well. If you don't have enough energy on board, the body starts to create something called ketones. And that happens to me as well if I don't eat and I'm diabetic. And that is very dangerous, very, very dangerous. You can become diabetic ketone acidosis. So I need to eat, but I feel so fucking sick. This morning, it's now 5 to 11. Hello, I see you. Hello. I've been up since 6:30. Got up, couldn't go back to sleep because I felt uncomfortable, like as if I was going to be sick but not sick. Also full of air, like trapped wind, that really painful trapped wind that sticks in your chest and then moves down and becomes big farts, let's face it. But oh, so much trapped wind. And I was awake since 6:30. Alan got up about 7:30, 8 and was like, right, what do you want for breakfast? So I've been managing some fresh fruit, like strawberries is okay. I've put grapes in the freezer because I can soak on them and they're really nice. I can't drink coffee. And it was so strange because see on Friday, I remember, I think I mentioned this already, like I couldn't drink my coffee, and I was like, what is wrong with me? I actually remember looking back on a video, like I mentioned, yeah, about not being able to, like, thinking that because I'd had so many, I was like, my mouth feels funny because I've drank so much coffee. No, it was probably just this. Probably just because I was pregnant. But yeah, just trying to eat. So Alan made me some yogurt with strawberries. Trying to eat healthy, it's so difficult because everything you read, everything says like maintain a really healthy diet, eat really well, and generally I do. I eat a very healthy and balanced diet, don't get me wrong, love a biscuit, don't get me wrong, love the odd takeaway, and a pint also says anything you've done until you've found out you're pregnant, there's no point in beating yourself up about, because it's done now. What are you going to do? There's nothing you can do, just make sure you're doing everything you can now that you know. There's so much things around about it as well though, that's the thing, because so many people in the UK, like, eggs are good if they're British eggs because of the way they're, not the way they're made, but pasteurised and all this kind of stuff. Milk as well, and a lot of soft cheeses are okay because they're pasteurised, they're alright, but things like brie, camembert, blue cheeses are a no-go, which is fine, I'm not bothered. But I'm really like struggling to eat a healthy balanced diet because I feel so sick. And so this morning I managed some strawberries with yogurt, managed that, and I am trying to keep my blood sugar up. And it's okay, but then other times my blood sugar will just go up. Not drastically, it sits around about 7 or 9, which isn't dire. Anybody who's watching this who's diabetic might be like, 7 or 9 isn't horrific. It's not like you're sitting at 16. But when you're pregnant, you're supposed to have a blood sugar so tight that it's between 4 and 6. Pardon me, sorry. And generally, my blood sugar does sit around 4 and 6. But, oh sorry, see what I mean? I just can't stop burping. It doesn't stop. I don't know what it's all about. Why is this happening? Anyway, so I actually do know why it's happening. I've read up on the anatomy and physiology on it, but that's just because of the way I am, and I'm a nurse, so I was like, right, what is going on in my body? Yeah, so basically, what was I even saying there? I've forgotten now. Try and keep the blood sugars up. Yeah, that's where it was going. And it's difficult because sometimes they sit a bit higher. So I think it's just really difficult. I think I have to talk to you about it from my point of view, because a lot of women will be like, of course, like, I've got morning sickness, I'm emotional, I'm feeling uncomfortable, all these kind of things, which I have. But then I have this added extra of, I need to make sure my blood sugars are okay, because if they're not between that 4 and 6, that's where abnormalities can occur in progression, like in the building blocks of making a baby. Like, abnormalities can occur if you've got really high and uncontrolled blood sugars. So it's so difficult. And I usually control my blood sugars really well, and I'm only controlling them for me. So if I eat something and they go up to about 7 or 9 after I've ate something, even if I have like a big takeaway and they go up to, you know, maybe like 15 or 16, and I'm like, oh god, like obviously I didn't take enough insulin, I'll correct it and I'll get on with my day, because things like that happening every once in a blue moon, when I have a takeaway or something like that, that's not going to affect me in the long term, because generally my blood sugars are controlled so well. If anybody knows what your HbA1c is, that is your overall reading for your blood sugar. And mine's sitting at 43. It's been sitting at 42, 43, 41. It's been sitting at that number for the last year and a half. It's probably been sitting at that number for the last like 3 or 4 years. But because I've been getting monitored, because I've been on the pre-pregnancy clinic, I've been getting monitored more closely, and it's been at that, and I've been getting monitored every 3 months. So my overall blood sugar is very stable. So for me, it's fine. And I'm like, you're doing a really good job, Alana. But when I see numbers that are like, and they're creeping up a bit, I get so anxious, because I'm like, oh god, like what's that going to do? Even if it's just like for an hour in the day and it comes back down, because I don't know what effect that's going to have on someone else and not me. Oh, and it's so hard. It's so hard. Sorry, I didn't want to get dead. This was supposed to be quite a happy thing. but it is really tricky. It's not like, I wonder if there'll be other diabetic mums who watch this, because I don't know. It's just tricky. And I'm sure that there's diabetic people who don't do all the right things and still have healthy babies. But it's just a worry you have, isn't it? I think all mums are going to have worries if anything they do, like, will it affect things? And now I've got this, not now, I've had it for 23 years nearly. 23 years, 22 years, 22 years this year. 22 years in October. And I just think, oh, this is just an added stress. And you're not supposed to get stressed, of course. So I'm just like exhausted. And I'm 3 days into knowing I'm pregnant. I'm just like, what am I going to be like by the time I'm like 8 months? I'm going to be fucked. But I do also hear that this first trimester gets better. And once you're out of it, it's much better and people feel better in the second trimester. So I've been off my work for the past 3 days because honestly, like, I just phoned them and told them I'm being sick and diarrhea, because I did actually have terrible diarrhea yesterday as well. Oh my god, you've never seen so much come out of a human, and I work in gastroenterology. How? I don't know, because I've not been able to eat anything, so where it came from, I have no idea. But as I say, if this is TMI, I'm really sorry. I'm a nurse, so I'm very used to talking about these things. But yeah, like, honest to God, I'm 3 days in and I just think I'm exhausted. I feel so sick all the time, and it's not something that I'm like, if I felt sick normally, as I say, I could vomit and feel a little bit better and then maybe take an anti-sickness and then try and eat something later and get on with my day, because a lot of the times when I am sick, it'll be to do with my blood sugars, or maybe I'm a bit hungover, something like that. That may happen on the odd occasion, but it's not like constant. And that leads me on to another thing, because I don't want to like ramble on. I'm going to try and do updates weekly, and already I'm 12 minutes in. At the moment, I've not seen anybody. Nobody's phoned me, I know nothing. I made an appointment with the midwife, and my diabetic team phoned me back on Friday. They phoned me back on Friday afternoon. But all I've been told is that I have an appointment on the 23rd of September, which is quite a way off yet. And that when I go to that appointment, I need to refer to a consultant, because the way it works in the UK is usually you have midwifery-led pregnancies and births. So most women will have a midwife who sees you throughout the time, goes to the birth, and would only get a consultant involved if something happened through the pregnancy or you became high risk or something like that. Maybe during labour even, you might have someone get involved. But for the most part, it would be a midwife looking after you. Because even before I got pregnant, they knew I would be a high risk pregnancy because of my diabetes, because of my heart. I'm going to be consultant led from the get-go. So I have to refer to a consultant when I see the midwife. I don't know if that means then I will not have that midwife, I will only see a consultant. I have no idea. Or is it going to be a matter of I go to her, she'll be like, no problem, I'll just nip down the hall and get that consultant, she'll come in and have a chat to you. Because I feel like if I have to ask her to refer, then I might have to wait another 2 weeks for an appointment with that person. And then my first scan is on the 8th of October. And before I know it, I'm going to be not so far along, but I'll be on my second trimester, and I feel like I'll maybe not have seen anybody, and that is terrifying, because I'm like, because I'm high risk and because of all this monitoring, I'm just a bit like, what's happening here? Like, what am I supposed to do? Somebody speak to me, somebody tell me that actually it's alright if your blood sugar goes a little bit high, you're doing a really good job, but just be mindful, keep doing what you can, eat what you can. I think if somebody reassured me of that, I would feel a bit better. But because I'm not going to see anybody, my diabetic nurse that was looking after me, she was seeing me every 3 months in pre-pregnancy. She now hands me over also, the midwife hands me over to somebody when I see her, and my own personal diabetic nurse handed me over to another person who is now going to be taking care of my care. Not a consultant, but a specialist in pregnancy and diabetes. So that nurse will now see me and I don't know when she's going to see me. I don't have an appointment for her. I have to upload my pump data because I'm on an insulin pump weekly now instead of monthly. So it's going to be really Big Brother's watching you. So I'm hoping that if I upload that today, she checks them on a Tuesday apparently, maybe she'll give me a wee phone on Wednesday and be like, hi, nice to meet you. I've checked your data, I seen you were on, I seen that you're having a bit of a struggle with lows and highs or whatever, and then chat to me about it, hopefully. I don't know. It's now 11:05 and I'm thinking, I would love a cup of coffee. I know if I put a cup of coffee to my lips, I'm gonna barf. What I have been drinking, actually, lots of water. You have to drink lots of water. But see, like these little flavoured waters, that has been a godsend because I don't want to drink fizzy juice. And I can't drink fresh fruit juice because they're so high in sugar. It's not good for me. So these are no added sugar. Ugh, I don't know. But it's like the only thing I can really get over at the moment. Plain water, obviously, but even plain water is like, ugh, horrible. So I've been drinking these, just trying to feel a bit more normal. As I say, sucking on frozen grapes. Salty things. I really want salty things. We were in the shop yesterday. I went out yesterday because I thought I needed to go out. I need to get out the house, feel a bit more normal. And when I was out, I picked up salted corn kernels. And then chipsticks. I don't know if anybody knows what chipsticks are. In the UK, I'm sure you will do. They're like little crisps that are just thin potato puff type things, but they're salt and vinegar. Them and the twists, the things you only usually get in your local corner shop. You don't usually get them in the supermarket. They're like twists, they're like fusilli, but they're crisps, or chips if you're in America. They're like crisps and they're salt and vinegar. And things like that. Even last night when Alan made my dinner, he made a really healthy dinner with broccoli, potatoes, a corn on the cob, and like a breaded chicken breast. And I was like, put loads of salt on the potatoes. And I don't want anything sweet. And I am the biggest, like, get a coffee and a cake. As I say, when we went out to the shops, we walked past a Costa. Now, I tell you right now, I could be out the house for 5 minutes and walk past a coffee shop. And Alan would be like, you've been out the house 5 minutes. You don't need a coffee. You've literally just had one half an hour ago. I would walk past a coffee shop and be like, oh, can we have coffee and cake? And I walked past Costa and I was like, the idea of going in there right now makes me want to barf. And Alan was like, who are you? What have you done with Alana? And I was like, I swear to God, like I couldn't go in that coffee shop just now. That makes me really sad because I'm like such a coffee fiend and such a big sweet tooth. Like I love a bit of cake. And the idea of eating anything like that is just like, no, absolutely not. Anyway, I said I wasn't going to ramble and I've rambled for 20 minutes. I will check in with you again if there's any updates, maybe in a couple of weeks. Because I really don't think I'll have much to tell you other than this is how I'm feeling at the moment. I am going to phone my work tomorrow and speak to management or my boss because she's lovely. And actually, like I don't want to tell anybody yet. We've agreed we're not going to tell anybody until the scan and all that kind of stuff. There's a general rule of thumb on that. I think you do it when you're ready, is the honest truth. I don't think you need to stick to any time scale. But we have also agreed that potentially I might tell my mum and Alan's mum and dad before the scan. We might want to tell them sooner. But because we've only discovered 3 days ago, we're just kind of sitting on it just now and being like, right, what are we going to do? See how things go. And I'm terrified. Yay. Only terrified because I don't know what's happening. I'm somebody who likes to know what's happening. I like things to be explained well. Because if they're not explained, then I can't make sense of them. So I think that's why I'm just a bit like, oh God. But as I say, I will check in again, maybe a bit further along. Maybe I'll come back to you in 10 weeks. I'm 6 weeks at the moment. I'll come back and then maybe come back to you, let you know if we've had the scan. But unless there's any change, this is how I'm feeling now. It's rotten. And it is no joke. And I will never, ever, ever doubt anybody who says like, oh, I'm feeling rough in my first trimester, because fuck me, this is horrible. But I'll see you all again soon.